Hello everyone, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version, and this time I'd like to talk about a new strain of coronavirus. And as you know, as I don't know whether you frequently watch TV news or internet news, but maybe you have you have come to know that new strain of coronavirus was discovered, and that had that has been discovered. The place where the new strain was found in Republic of South Africa, or southern part of Africa. And you know the news there was a huge that came to be a huge problem. and and I have opinions about that. The new strain, which is named Omicron strain, and and I don't think we need to be worried about that much, because coronavirus is such a virus, which means many new strains many new strains have been found during the pandemic of coronavirus, as which is what you have already known in these years. Maybe that case that case grew severe in 2020, which is last year, and that the pandemic continued to this year. And this year has almost ended. It's November, so 1 month after it's going to be January. Passing through December. So considering which, coronavirus, which I think it's necessary to understand that coronavirus had such feature, which means coronavirus generates a lot of strains. And you know and each strain is different each other. And maybe each time when new strain was found, and people discuss whether vaccines work, or whether infectivity, or the ability of infections are strong or not. People discuss stuff like that. Whether that new strain was transmitted easily, or the transmitting capability is strong or weak, and like the vaccine works, stuff like that, and whether that's really dangerous or not. And the symptom, whether the symptoms caused by the new strain grow severe, or the symptoms of new strains are really moderate, or stuff like people talk about stuff like that. And you know, don't we get tired of that? Don't we get tired from such many discussions on such new strains of coronavirus? So considering which we should get used. I think it's necessary to get used to such situations, or such situations where many new strains will be found for years or in the future. And considering which, I think we should get used to this situation. And by the way, I think after coronavirus, maybe another pandemic could come. Another pandemic is going to come in years later, or years after the end of this pandemic. I mean, you know, I don't know whether you can remember. I don't know whether you can remember or not. You know, there was a pandemic of MERS. I don't know whether you have heard of MERS or not. I investigated this time, and MERS stood for Middle East Respiratory Syndrome related coronavirus. Yes, as I told you, MERS is also a MERS was also a coronavirus, which is why and Middle East Respiratory Syndrome related coronavirus happened in 2015, which is 6 years ago, or 6 years before 2021. I'm recording this episode on November, or latter half, or almost the end of November in 2021. And 6 years ago, there was another type of coronavirus, which was named MERS, or Middle East Respiratory Syndrome related coronavirus. The name is quite long, which is what I thought. And actually, there was a pandemic, years before, which and this time, this time, a pandemic happened last year. Which means the pandemic happened last year, and considering which, there must be some next one, which is what I thought in the beginning of this pandemic. So last year I came up, or last year I remember the last time the pandemic happened 5 years ago, because I got this idea 1 year before, 1 year ago. So considering which, we should get used to, so we should get used to a new situation where, many pandemics may happen in the future. Considering which, this time coronavirus grew popular and grew widespread. But after this coronavirus, maybe another pandemic may come, which is what I have just told you minutes before. And we should we should brace ourselves. So, maybe this time was really a good opportunity for learning how to tackle the pandemics of viruses, which is why we should remember, or we should record this case, and we should use this experience. We should this experience for the next coming pandemics of viruses. This is all. This is what I'd like to tell you this time. So, thank you very much for listening. See you.